Insider drops surprising Padres report. Out of all the positions on this team that need to be filled with trades, these are the most important, according to the article. Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Padres Digest with your host, Andrew. Happy to be back as always. We had a nice fresh win against the Nationals, and now we're going to talk about some trade deadline stuff because it's that time of the year. Before we get into it though, please subscribe as always. So I have a little bit of an article where I based some stuff off of, so I want to get into that real quick, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the video. But this is the article I looked up while looking up the biggest needs the Padres need this season. I got this, right, from AJ Cassaville, the Padres beat reporter. Can I say beat reporter? Yeah, Padres beat newsletter. I can say it. But yeah, it's from June 2nd, so it's a little outdated. So that's why I don't want to get too deep into it. But this is what he says, AJ Cassaville, our biggest trade deadline needs. Must have in a left fielder. Again, these are a little outdated, just keep that in mind. But team ranks 29th out of 30 in offensive production. Gavin Sheets isn't a true left fielder, which is true. He's not a true left fielder. They could seriously use another starter. The depth is thin. If Michael King's not coming back till August, Yu Darvish is obviously back. And we don't need anything crazy, just something cheap, not necessarily an ace. And a bench bat. This bench lacks offensive punch. Obviously, Jason Hayward is gone, but we have Jose Iglesias, Bryce Johnson. Not great, right? And maybe another catcher, left fielder to keep that depth going. Price is right, a lefty reliever. Yes, we have Morejon, Matsui, Peralta, but another lefty could make things better in the late innings for us. And a backup catcher. Catcher depth is weak, especially behind two options. A reliable secondary catcher could ease lineup planning. So what's surprising to me, if the price is right, a backup catcher. So basically in the article, and I can bring it up, but basically what he's saying is it's really difficult to trade for a catcher mid-year and have him learn the staff almost immediately. Like, we've done it. Like, I remember in like 2020, we replaced both our catchers, like Austin Hedges to the Indians, and we picked up, or I guess the Guardians, whatever they were back then. And then we picked up like, was it Jason Castro and Austin Nola from the Mariners. So obviously it's been done, and they did a fine job, I guess, for 2020. But he's not wrong, right? Obviously learning a brand new staff is difficult, but also it's a catcher's job to do that. So yeah, I'll let you guys formulate your opinions on that. But also, remaining straight of schedule, we're 23rd, right? Like, if there's ever a time to buy, it would be with this kind of schedule we have left. But this is not a case for buying. This is simply a case of, if we were to buy, what would we need? I'll probably make a video down the line about if the Padres sell, what would that mean and what could we get out of it. Down the line, though, if you guys want that, let me know. But the Padres' biggest needs, according to me, a left fielder, a catcher, and a bench bat. And would be nice, more starting pitching, and a left-handed bullpen arm. So kind of what AJ Cassaville said, but a different list of priority. And if you guys have any others you want me to list, let me know. Comment down below if you have another. But let's start, of course, with left field. So I have some stats and some possible options. So I also want to state this real quick. Hello, Gavin Sheets. I am all for trading for cheap players and let the good players on our team perform and let the end of the lineup just do serviceable, right? But the names I'm going to list to you are obviously not little names. They're big names. Why did I choose that? Let's be honest. You guys don't care about the little names. I mean, some of you guys might. You guys probably don't care about the little names. You want to hear some big names. So I'm going to give you some big names. No way in any possible solution all these names are things we can realistically get. Because obviously, like I said, there's a lot of holes on this team we got to get. So just keep that in mind. These are bigger names. We can probably only get one of these, and that's going to be pretty hard to get. But I have another list of low-key players I'll show you guys in a sec. But let's jump into it real quick, right? So our left field options, this is our left field stats as of right now. So OPS 611, not great, only 6 home runs. So Gavin Sheets, if you count him in this, which I don't think he is, but he's carrying right now. But we can obviously do better, right? Top 3 names, in my opinion. There's no order. There's no, like, I want him the most, I want him the least. It's just names I gathered, right? So don't read too much into it. But Taylor Ward, big guy right now. He has 23 home runs. He has been known as a streaky hitter, and his average isn't great. but we are concerned about slug. And I brought the lefty-righty matchup for this because we do hit not as great against lefties as we do as righty. And that's an understatement, right? We're pretty bad against lefties, but obviously he can hit really well against lefties, 902 OPS, but still hits well-ish against righties. I mean, 759 isn't like horrible OPS-wise, but yeah, I mean, he's a solid defender. I think he has a year left of arbitration. He could be someone you could look at. Another person, of course, Jarren Duran. We've made a billion videos about him, so I won't get too much into him. I want Jarren Duran nowhere near this team, but if we get him, I'm not going to cry about it, mostly because I don't think he solves that many issues, and I think he'll be super expensive. But you can't deny that he's a good player with a down year and has a lot of upside to him. In my opinion, though, I know I said I didn't have any favorites. My favorite is Luis Robert Jr. He has been playing a little better, so his value has gone up, but they're still probably going to sell relatively low, in my opinion. So he's good defense. He has 10 home runs, couldn't grow. I mean, he hits much better against lefties than he does against righties. And again, we need people who can hit against lefties. I think, personally, Luis Robert Jr. could be the best option. And, of course, he's got swag, right? The Padres are built on swag. Let's add another swaggy, confident player, and let's see what happens, right? That's why I think Luis Robert Jr. is my favorite. But yeah, here are 3 options we could use at left field. We're just shopping. We're what do you call it? Window shopping. We're browsing. We're perusing. We're looking. We're trying to buy, but that shirt on the rack does look nice, and it is on sale. So maybe I'll take a look at it. A little closer look. You know how it is? We're shopping, right? I don't know where I'm going with this. But catcher options, because catcher, of course, another big hole. Catching position this year, 568 OPS, 197 average. So yeah, we need catchers. Again, all big names. Realistic? That's up to you. I'll leave it to you guys. Sean Murphy, of course. I know Christian just made a video about Sean Murphy and Shane Langeliers, so I won't get too deep into it. But of course, he can hit better against lefties. But he is pretty even on both sides and does have 16 home runs for their backup catcher, because Drake Baldwin is going to be their starting catcher from now on, I'm pretty sure. So Sean Murphy is not like expendable for him, but he is a possible option, even though Atlanta said they don't want to trade him. But for the right price, anyone will trade anybody. That's just how the world works, right? Shea Langeliers, another person, solid, good. Average isn't amazing, right? But again, better than the 197 what we got right now. And he does hit better against lefties, but is still also relatively even on both sides. And then finally, a name you might not expect. I don't think it's super realistic for us to get him, but it could happen, right? It could happen. Hunter Goodman from the Rockies, their only all-star, I'm pretty sure, this year. 25 years old, super young. So it's going to mean either A, he's still too raw to make a big deal on, or B, he has so much control that he'll be a huge deal, right? But he's the best catcher right now on this list, in my opinion. 281 average, 18 RBIs, 18 home runs, 55 RBIs. And of course, isn't actually better against lefties than he is against righties, but it's pretty relatively even, which actually would benefit us, since if we do keep Diaz, which I think would be the preferred backup catcher, I'm sure he hits better against lefties than he does righties. So I think Hunter Goodman would be a good median behind it. But I don't know if the Rockies want to give up anybody to a rival. So take with that as you will. But moving on, we'll go to bench bat / DH options. I know Christian has a video on Marcell Ozuna, and I'm pretty sure Ryan O'Hearn. I don't know if we have one on Jesus Sanchez yet, but Marcell Ozuna, yes, he can play left field. No, I don't want him anywhere near left field. He would be a good bench bat, but probably more realistically a DH. I guess all of these would be more realistically a DH, but he's not having a fantastic year compared to last year, but his splits are pretty even, so it'd be a good option at a permanent DH. I don't know if I love it. He's pretty old. He's not looking great, and he might be too big of a sell. Like they would ask for too much, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know if I love it, but he's an option, right? Ryan O'Hearn, I know he plays left field and outfield, but for right now, he's listed as a first baseman. So I don't know how many first base left fielder experiments the Padres want to make, but making him a full-time DH doesn't seem like a bad idea, in my opinion. But again, if he plays left field and does better in sheets, like I'm sure the coaches would know more than I do. But he looks fine, I guess. 12 home runs, 283 average. So not like crazy, not like amazing. But again, Oh, actually, no. He hits better against righties. I was going to make a different statement, but no. He hits, obviously, he's a left-hander, so he's going to hit better against righties, but is that too much? Is 608 OPS not good enough to hit against lefties? I mean, 220 average, not great. On base, not that great. So for a bench bat, maybe platoon him with Gavin Sheets, because Gavin Sheets does hit relatively okay against lefties. I mean, his splits are pretty even, so a good bench bat, maybe. I don't know. Jesus Sanchez, of course, bats left, but does throw right. His, obviously, a lot better right-handed against left-handed, much better. But off the bat, maybe plays a okay defense. Not really. But again, he's an option. These are all people that are able to be traded. Braves aren't playing well. Orioles aren't playing well. Marlins haven't played well in forever. So I think for bench bats, if they're cheap or a permanent DH, I don't see a bad thing about it. It's not my cup of tea. I wouldn't want to spend that much for a bench bat or a DH. But again, we're just window shopping. We're browsing. We're not making statements. We're not making any claims. We're just window shopping, right? Starters now. This is moving on to our would-be nice starters. Obviously got some bigger name starters, even though I don't love that. Like Sandy Alcantara, how do you say it? I don't get what people see in him. Yes, he had a really good year and won the Cy Young, but I think he's kind of washed. But his name is attached to a lot of things, so it'd be wrong of me not to report his name. He's a potential option. Mitch Keller, if we were to splurge for a better starter, I think Mitch Keller would be a great option. 3.48 ERA on the Pirates, who aren't going anywhere. So he'd be a cool option. Again, like we said, we don't really need top of the line rotation starters, but who wants... I guess the better way to say it would be, if this was available and it was at a good price, why not? You know what I mean? Zach Eflin, another player who could probably buy low right now, looked really good last year with the Phillies. Was the Phillies? I think it was the Phillies. Yeah, like a 2-something ERA. I just looked it up. But this year he's been affected by home runs and the overall horrible pitching staff that is the Orioles. So a 6 ERA does not look great, but maybe we can buy low and he could prove to be a good pitcher. Like second half was his year, according to last year. So it's an option. It's an option. Again, we're just window shopping. I'm not making any claims. Lefty relief options. I had a whole video talking about lefties. So Colby Allard. I don't know if he came back with the Guardians or not, but I know he was released for some reason. But 3.05 ERA for a lefty, 27 years old. I like it. Holby Milner, kind of older, not a lot of like speed, I guess, in his miles per hour. He's a slow pitcher, but he's got some crazy movement and a 2.31 ERA. Again, Rangers suck. So that's someone we could absolutely sweep up, in my opinion. And then finally, Caleb Ferguson. You remember him from the Dodgers, of course, and I talked about it in my last video I made whenever I made it. But 3.57 ERA, a lefty, still relatively young, 29 years old. So I think that's a pretty good option in lefty. Again, we're not dying for lefties. Like, we have Morejon, and Wandy Peralta is doing a fine, okay job, and Yuki will hopefully pick it back up. But if we were, those are some options. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about those. Again, like I said, we're not going to be able to get all of those. At most, we can probably get one of those, but I am still team buy small. Like, go to the dollar store, buy yourself a nice soda. Why would you want to go to a supermarket or like a gas station and pay $5 for a soda when you can go to a dollar store and get the same soda for $1? What am I yapping about? I don't know. It made sense to me, though. But yeah, Padres bullpen, we don't have to cover that. That's really small. That's okay. I'll bring it up on this side. My bad, y'all. I thought that would look bigger on here, but whatever. All the following players can be acquired for very little prospect capital, assuming Padres ownership and moderate payroll for a playoff push. It has Springs, Andujar, Springs. There's a lot of Springs. I thought Springers for a second. Jeffrey Springs, I think his name is, from the Brewers. Gregory Soto, Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo from the Royals. Gregory Soto, I think, is on the Pirates, I'm pretty sure. Lefty reliever. Zach Eflin, we just mentioned. Adolis Garcia. I don't really want Adolis Garcia, but who knows. Jonah Heim, Higashioka. I don't think I also want Higashioka, even though I love Higashioka, but I don't think I'd want him. David Bednar, Brian Reynolds, Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham has looked good this year for some reason. I feel like last time I saw his stats, they were really good. Michael Tauchman, Luis Roberts Jr., I'm assuming it's saying. Michael Tauchman was another player I listed a long time ago. when I did like underrated players we can get. Nick Martinez, Tyler Stevenson, catcher, Austin Hayes. Both have been, I don't know if Tyler Stevenson's been good this year, but again, option. And then Ozuna and Profar. We're not getting Profar back. I'm sorry to say this, guys, but it'd be cool, right? And then again, is primarily focused on the players above that wouldn't take much to acquire. The following players here can be attainable for moderate prospect capital: Taylor Ward, Ryan Jeffers, Cedric Mullins, Son Murphy, Willie Castro, from the Twins, I think. I don't. If my names are off, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely good players we can get for cheap that can help this team improve, and I can make another video about that. I know I have before, but I can make another one about it if you guys want to see it. But yeah, what I listed to you guys are the big names that you could be excited about. But let me know how you feel. Do you want bigger names to help fill out this team? Are you okay with sticking with smaller names? Or are you still team sell? Let's get some prospects back. Let's retool. I don't know why you'd want that, but let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, go Padres. Goodbye.